Mark my words, Bitcoin and cryptocurrency is about to go on a run to the upside. The bears are about to get punished, but it's not as good as it seems. There's a lot of things in the charts that have me worried, particularly about Bitcoin's next couple of cycles. Potentially in the next 8 years, Bitcoin might experience some turmoil. Let's jump into it. But before we do, I don't give financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, and never risk more than you can afford to lose when trading. So let's jump into it. We're going to talk about Bitcoin. We're going to talk about when I think we're going to pump, where I think we're going to top in this market, and why I don't have a good outlook on Bitcoin for the next 8 years. I'm not high on crypto. Anyway, so RSI on the daily chart, bullish divergence. You don't really see this that often in a Bitcoin bull market, but right now we're seeing that. So I'm going to get into some wave analysis later, but how do we get this parallel channel? Well, it looks like a large A, B, C to me. So this looks like a large ABC. Potentially there's one more low in the C. However, that's not guaranteed. We could have bottomed on Bitcoin already. Now, the MACD about to cross, bullish divergence on Bitcoin's RSI on the daily chart. The daily chart is at the bottom of this parallel channel. Things are looking good and bullish as long as we hold this 49K level. We can drop the channel. It's not the end of the world. The channel is more or less a guideline to where C would potentially bottom. We could see another low to 49K as long as we hold that level. I think we're A-okay on Bitcoin. All right, we are now looking at Bitcoin's weekly chart here. And those who followed my channel have seen this line before I made it a box. I think it's better represented as a box, but it's one of my favorite macro or bigger picture lines on Bitcoin. Right now, we rejected from that same level when the ETFs got approved. We exploded up a few weeks after, and we're now back into this level to retest it as support, and right now we're finding support right here. It's looking pretty nice. Also of note, this weekly stochastic RSI is about to cross up, and with a cross up, it is going to bring momentum into the market. The last time we crossed up was right here in February, where we went from around 38K all the way up to 73. So these crosses are no joke. You need to be mindful of when these stochastic RSI crosses are about to occur. So I mentioned on the daily chart how this looked like one giant ABC to me. And what does that mean for our wave count? What is the highest probability wave count that I see us in right now? Well, it looks something like this. All right, now on the screen that I'm going to clean up real quick is what I would call the highest probability wave count here. We are potentially finishing a wave 4 of this cycle. So we're either finished the wave 4 or just about to finish the wave 4 with one more low. This would mean that crypto is about to pump. Now you see on the screen what I would call a lower probability wave count, and this one isn't so fun. This would basically mean that we've seen 5 waves up and we finished our cycle and have now experienced a 3-wave A followed by a big B wave and then another massive C wave. That would not be a fun scenario. But either way, then this A wave would have dropped and we are about to pump on Bitcoin. So either way, each wave count that I just showed you is saying the same thing for the next few months, that we are about to see a large bounce on Bitcoin. Whether you're looking at the bullish wave count that I just showed you, that has this as being the end of the 3rd wave, or this as the 5th wave. Right now, we are about to see a big bounce regardless. But as you know, this is what I'm calling the higher probability wave count right now. And where would we potentially target on a wave 5? My favorite way of targeting a wave 5 is by taking a fib extension of the waves 1 through 3, drop it to the bottom of 4, and we target an $89,000 Bitcoin. That is just one mechanism of targeting a wave 5. Another way of targeting wave 5 is using an equality method as wave 5 can often be similar to the length of wave 1, and that would take us to about 70K if we bottomed here. A little under, actually. So 69, 70K might be the target if we're looking at something that has the similar length of wave 1. I don't think this is as likely, but it is a little concerning to see that it would take us right back to this resistance and not push us over. Okay, now we're on Bitcoin's monthly logarithmic chart, and it's showing you something incredibly concerning. Bitcoin's entire price history since 2011 is on this chart right now. This is concerning. I have Bitcoin moving up in a wave 1, down in a wave 2, up in a wave 3, down in a wave 4, and this is potentially our last wave that started right here in December 2018. Basically, what this means is that after this cycle, so either 2024 or 2025, where we see a top in Bitcoin, that could mean that a potential major correction comes into the Bitcoin market, and that could potentially last, because this is a 13-year Elliott wave pattern, could last 6, maybe 7 years. That is incredibly concerning. So now what's this wave count doing on the screen right here? Well, this was what we acknowledged as being the bottom of wave 4 on that much bigger 13-year long extending wave count. This would be the 5 waves in this. So basically, the cycle we were looking on the weekly chart, that wave count is right here in this cycle's 5th wave. Everything lines up for this to be a major top on Bitcoin. Now, a lot of you are probably getting emotional over this and arguing Elliott wave is a scam. It's better at looking at past markets and it's not good at foreseeing the future. But why do I use Elliott wave in my analysis? To provide me context in where we are. No other method of analysis is as good as putting things into context. Now, Elliott wave is not perfect. There's a lot of subjectivity, but I am finding so many things that are pointing to this being a very long-term top on Bitcoin, and you might not want to hear it, but the charts are the charts. So we're back on the regular chart, no longer logarithmic, and we're going to do a fib extension here. And what do we get? The equivalence of the move from wave 1 to 3 will be at 80K. So this will be at 80K in equivalence. So we're now back on the weekly chart, answering the pivotal question, where are we going to top? Have we topped already? Are we heading into a wave 5, or are we heading into a big wave B? Now, I believe we are heading into a wave 5. However, we have to be concerned about the fact there could be that alternate wave count, that this was wave 5 and that we're heading into a wave B that doesn't have to break our all-time high, doesn't have to get above 74K. This would be a failed rally, and we would probably fall down hard if we did this. I don't think that's the preferred scenario. I think we're going to have the momentum to take us up towards 80 to 90K in a wave 5. We've seen some confluential targets between 80 and 90K that I've shown you in this video, but ultimately, I don't think we're going to get to 100K before we rip to the downside and potentially face 6 to 7, maybe 8 years of sideways Bitcoin action that is going to infuriate people. Now, unpopular opinion, but I think Bitcoin will see some turmoil for the later part of this decade. I think Bitcoin's going to get quite boring. I think everyone's going to stop talking about Bitcoin. I think people are going to think Bitcoin is dead, maybe in the early 2030s, and that is where we will see an amazing buying opportunity, the best in our lives. All right, thank you for watching this very hot take on Bitcoin. See you in the next video.